Hey guys, Joshua from City Champs. I'm here with Kurt. We're going to do our curriculum, so you can always go back to it in case it's been a while since you taught a class. Okay, so week 2, we're going to work on break falls. So if you remember week 1, if we push from behind, we're going with it. If we push from the front, we're going with it. Well, what if somebody picks you up and tries to slam you? Okay, you can't really go with that. So that's where a break fall comes in. It's a judo concept. So if somebody is here, right, and they decide to, let's say they're just trying to trip you, right? If they just want to come in. So what he's doing is he's displacing the weight and where the weight lands, okay? He took his foot, because he's done this before, in his hand and slapped just before his body hit, okay? And that's taking the surface area and kind of making the ripple spread out instead of focused on his body, okay? So let's get into how we're going to teach that. So how we're going to teach that break fall is, again, we're going to get lower. Okay? So we're going to get lower and we're going to cross our arms, okay? Once we're squatted down here, we're going to make sure that our neck is tucked, because the last thing that we want is our neck slapping on the mat, right? So we're going to make sure our neck is tucked and our tongue, to be very clear, we want on the roof of our mouth. We don't want to bite our tongue in something like this just because that's an owie that we don't need, right? So we're going to get down, cross our arms, make sure that our neck is tucked. When I fall backwards, I'm going to slap the mat down just before my back lands. Okay, squat down, arms are crossed, neck's tucked, tongue is on the roof of the mouth. Okay, when I fall back, I'm going to slap before I hit, okay? Let's do that one more time. If they can squat down, awesome. It makes it just a little bit easier. The higher up they are, the more difficult it is to get the slap down, all right? Arms crossed, neck is tucked. We have our tongue in the roof of our mouth. We're just gonna fall back and slap right before we hit. Now, a couple pitfalls that we have with kids. When they slap, they'll be all the way out here. Their tendency may be also to try to catch themselves instead of slap the mat. Those are two things that you really want to look out for. We want to slap down next to us, okay? Hands down, palms down, all right? And we don't want to catch ourselves. If somebody's trying to throw us like I threw Kurt, or trip us like I tripped Kurt, and we go to catch ourselves, we have a good likelihood of hurting our wrists or elbows, okay?
He comes up, kick follows. Knee comes up, kick follows. All right, so guys, one thing I want you to remember too is you're talking to two different audiences, right? Some of the kids are older and they're going to be paying more attention, they're going to be more engaged. So there was a lot of material, for example, in week 1. You may not get through all that material with the little kids, right? Because they're running around and going crazy. You may not get past anything more than the warm-up, fighting stance and movement. You may not get to the striking portion. Then you just push it on to the next week and you get what you can in with the little kids. But with the bigger kids, usually they're a little more engaged and you can move through that material a little bit quicker. All right, so guys, the next kick we're gonna learn, it kind of segues off of knee strike because it starts off as the same body mechanic, and we do that for a very, very particular reason. So if the knee strike is here, he's no longer in range. But if that pad represents his groin, again, we're talking about going for vulnerable targets. If I do that knee strike and then I lift my leg at the end, it allows me to create that knee strike. It's very important. This is why we talk about a knee strike, is because I don't want people to have to think about, how far away is he? Do I throw a knee strike here? Do I throw a kick? So for example, drop the pad a second. Let go of the pad. So if he's here, right, he's very close, I throw that knee strike, the knee's gonna hit. If I'm a little farther out, I bring that knee up and I extend that kick. Now the shin is gonna hit. If I'm a little further out, I throw that kick and the top of my foot's gonna hit. But if I throw a good kick every time, knee comes up, kick follows, knee comes up, kick follows, knee comes up, kick follows. If I ingrain that in my student's head, they don't have to think about it. Because again, that fight's dynamic. He could be there 1 second and the next second he could be right on top of me. Okay? So if I'm thinking throwing that groin kick, knee comes up, kick follows. If he's out there, top of my foot or maybe the shin will hit. But if he darts in at me at the last second, that's okay because knee comes up, kick follows, and the knee will get it. Okay, so it's very important, and that's why this kind of segues off the knee strikes. But what I'm gonna do is, it's important to kind of set the stage for the kids first. So you can tell them, look, you can kick with the top of your foot, you can kick with your shin. Okay, so important holding. Hold it about groin level, depending on the kid. If the kid's really small, you might have to hold it a little lower. Don't hold it too close to your body, because if they do kick with their shin, the foot's only got one place to go, and you don't want it there. So hold it out from your body a little bit. Josh has his elbows bent, which is great. If his elbows are locked out, and you get one of these big teenagers, that's a lot of energy going right up into your shoulders. Whereas if his arms are bent a little bit, his arms will collapse and absorb that energy. Okay, so it looks like this. Knee comes up, kick follows. Knee comes up, kick follows. The other thing to think about is wherever your knee is in line with that kick, that's where your kick is going to end. If my knee is down here, my kick can't go any further than that. If my knee is up here, my kick ends well past the target. If anybody of you played football, they always say hit through the target. This is no different. Okay? Some of my adult students, I would say, look, the groin is your target. The groin isn't your target. The chin is your target. You're just going to go through the groin to get there. So that's the idea. Kick through the target. So one more time. Knee comes up. Kick follows. What I do with the kids sometimes, so they understand this, is I'll just tell them to kick. Knee comes up. Kick follows. And then as the instructor, I'll move in and out. Okay? So we'll start with a kick. Good. Maybe I move in a step. He continues to kick. Now he's kicking with the shin. Take another step. Now he's kicking with the knee. Come out a little, and he comes back. So that's a good way to kind of get it into the kid's head that, hey, I don't have to do anything different. He's going to dictate the distance for me. I don't have to decide. And that's groin kick. Okay, and the last thing for week 3 we want to show you is we're teaching the kids the first combination they're going to do. At least a combination between a leg and a hand. So we're going to work on what's called the hammer fist strike. Hammer fist strike, they make a fist just like normal, but rather than hitting with these first 2 knuckles, now they're hitting with the bottom portion of their fist. And again, we do this for safety, because that's a meaty portion of your fist. Very hard to hurt your hand by using a hammer fist, and you can hit very hard. And I can hit very hard targets with a hammer fist. So for example, if it's a kid, and again, this one you really have to put into context, because I would hate to see a kid in a playground fight using a hammer fist to the back of another kid's head. It's very dangerous. However, if it's a situation with an adult trying to get hauled off by, an adult trying to haul off a kid, they need to do whatever they have to get away. So it's very important you put that into context. Okay, so the drill is going to be, they're going to throw that rear leg groin kick, and then they're going to step forward with that same foot and drop the hammer fist. So they're here. Key thing with hammer fists is you don't want them doing this windmill motion where their hand comes way over their head and way away from their body. What they're using again is they're using their body to generate power. Your hand should never come past your own head, but maybe after that kick, I come up on my tippy toes, and now I have a little bit more momentum coming down. My knees bend. I'm not bending at my waist. I'm dropping all my weight through the target. So you can get a lot of power, again, just by using good body mechanics. Using that hammer fist, the back portion, bottom portion of that fist. And that's it for week 2.